It's 1988 and the Black Roses, a slick glam rock band with a wicked makeup FX budget and a killer tune that turns their audiences into burnt-out husks, are running with the devil in their Lambos to Paradise City, USA. The Black Roses want to set the night on fire, and the price of admission to their concerts is only your eternal soul. Meanwhile, in town, a Puritan warns the townspeople that the Black Roses are evil and, quite possibly, breaking the law. The townsfolk are going round and round about banning the band before they play. Some of the parents are more level-headed than others, telling the Puritanicals to lick it up. I mean, surely these Black Roses are heaven-sent and not wanted, dead or alive. Meanwhile, the kids are all 17 and shouting out loud to their parents, "I want to rock." They jump at the chance to check out Black Roses in concert. They're ready for something to believe in. Unfortunately for them, the wicked tunes that the Black Roses belt out are bad medicine. Poison, in fact. And when the children cry, all anyone hears is, "Mama, we're all crazy now." Listening to this band that the kids like, seeing how they join the armies of the night to attend the Black Mass concerts, is this just love for good music that the kids have? Rather than run to the hills, the teacher decides Black Roses give love a bad name. To hell with the devil and patience, burning like a flame and living on a prayer. The teacher turns up the radio, says "Here I go again," and sets out to stop Sentimental Street from being turned into Heartbreak Boulevard. Balls to the wall, the teacher finally confronts the master of the puppets, and the lead singer of the Black Roses says to him, "I remember you. Welcome to the jungle. Would you like some cherry pie?" The professor says back, "We're not going to take it." The Black Roses yell, "We're going to rock you like a hurricane." To which the teacher replies, "You've got another thing coming, and I'm going to light you up like a rainbow in the dark." The final countdown is upon us. Will the teacher come out of this house of pain alive? Or is our poem-pushing professor headed for a heartbreak? Well, this mess of a movie doesn't smell like roses. Black Roses is a good-looking bit of dull that could have really gone somewhere if it had a better story, better acting, better music. You get my drift. The plot of Black Roses appears to be exploiting the infamous satanic panic of the 80s, and it's my biggest problem with this whole pile of roses. Perhaps due to its darker imagery and harder sound, metal music was linked to this satanic hysteria. Rumors began that playing metal and hard rock records backwards somehow produced messages that influenced listeners to do horrible things. This sub-controversy of the overall satanic panic reached its own height in 1988 when Judas Priest was sued by the families of two teens. These two teens had listened to Judas Priest, made and acted on a suicide pact. One teen was successful in killing himself. The other attempted it, only to horribly disfigure himself, surviving in painful agony and dying years later. The main conceit of the suit was that Judas Priest and their record label had financial liability to the deceased's family. They based this on the purported hidden messages that they claimed Judas Priest had hidden in their music. These messages, often interpreted as evil or manipulative, could be heard only if one played certain records backwards. Once heard, lawyers claimed these messages encouraged listeners to commit horrible acts, like suicide. Judas Priest demonstrated you can hear many things by playing their music backwards, such as, if you listened hard enough, messages about someone asking for peppermints. It's a far cry from Satanism, In any case, this case stands as a representation of just how much the anti-metal movement had taken hold in America alongside the satanic panic. Filmmakers love to funnel controversy into their products. With metal's imagery being influenced by the horror movies of the past, and then itself appearing in and influencing horror movies in the 80s, it seems like a no-brainer to make a movie about how those rumors that heavy metal music was a gateway to hell were true. Cue 1988's Black Roses. Now, some horror had already used heavy metal as a theme or plot by this time. For instance, 1986's Trick or Treat. It includes a dead rock star talking from beyond the grave by playing his final record backwards. In contrast, playing a record backwards informs characters how to battle demons in 1987's The Gate, one of my top 10 horror movies. So by 1988, we had both good and negative images of metal in horror movies. Do we really need more? Not really. Black Roses starts out pretty promising with this really cool intro where they're playing a Lizzie Borden song and looking monstrous and causing the audience to literally rock out of their minds and turn into some horrible zombies. However, it totally loses this power and it treads into this goofy territory with dual Lambos of the damned, I guess, pulling up into an American town so nice it could be Canadian. It is. From there, we see scene after scene of parents whining about how dangerous this metal band is. They are. while others say it's just a bit of harmless fun. It's not. So, already we have a problem here. There's absolutely no mystery about the Black Roses. If there had been some mystery, it could have made for an interesting movie. Is this band really evil? Make us like the band. Show us why they're charismatic and cool. Give us some good music or something, I don't know. Then turn them into demons and really shock us viewers and make us sad that someone we liked is actually evil. That would have been cool and a good idea for a movie. Instead, we know for a fact that the band's evil from the very start. We know they literally killed at their last show. We have no idea how they escaped negative press and the law in that situation, nor why they decided to come to a small town to play multiple concerts right after the fact. They do try and explain it in one scene, but it's a throwaway line, and it's the equivalent of just saying, we got away because we got away. Who cares? So none of this makes sense, and you're going to spend more time wondering about the hows and the whys of this situation rather than watching the movie because it's increasingly dull with very few interesting moments. Now, they could have saved some of this by having characters that were likable or interesting. Well, they're not in this movie if they were. The only semi-decent character in the movie is an English teacher. Yeah, that's right. The movie about heavy metal, demons, kids that like rock music. The best character is an English teacher. The guy who scorns the kids for choosing Metallica over Emerson. That's your best character. Okay. The focus of this movie, the kids, they're unbelievable and ridiculous. Just listen to this 30-year-old teenager tell you why he defiantly likes rock music.
You see, they figure there must be something evil about the band if we all like it. Yeah. That's what I think Whitman was talking about. They like evil, and they like getting rid of evil. They're,
hypocrites.
Hypocrites, right.
Yeah, I can see why you're a 19th grader. Do you care about these kids after listening to this jerk? Well, maybe there'll be a payoff to all of this, some wicked mayhem influenced by the music. Oh yeah, there totally is. The music makes the kids do things like swing on poles a lot, or come on guys, give me something. He opens a paint can and then wusses out and runs away before using it. Maybe in Canada it's like a serious felony to leave an open paint can on the road. I don't know, but this is pathetic. So while I was watching this movie, I was left with nothing better to do than spend a lot of time thinking about other movies. Movies like Rock and Roll Nightmare. Man, that was a stupid but fun metal monster movie. A movie where a metal band singer, Thor, fights Satan in fun and creative ways. Rock and Roll Nightmare's music was actually a lot better than Black Roses, too. Why can't this movie be like Nightmare? Okay, but guess what? The guy who directed Black Roses is the same guy who directed Rock and Roll Nightmare. I was shocked when I found that out. How do you have these two movies in your repertoire? They're so at odds with each other. So get this. In Rock and Roll Nightmare, heavy metal and Thor save the day. But the message of Black Roses is that if you listen to metal, you're an idiot. Rock music is bad for you. Kids, teenagers, your parents are the victims, not you. And by the way, your teacher, he was right about everything. Wow. Okay, great. I don't know what this guy was thinking, but basically it seems to be that he was just treating heavy metal as something to make money on, and he didn't really understand the message behind it about kids who are misunderstood, just wanting to be left alone and listening to music that had a lot of energy that made them feel better about the shitty situations they were in growing up as teenagers. I don't know. He doesn't seem to have understood it at all. I only give Black Roses points for its creature FX. Brought to you by, this guy. Interesting picture. And Richard Alonso, who has done a ton of accomplished work that you've likely seen in a lot of recent movies. Indeed, the monster at the end of Black Roses looks great. And there are some decent ones in other parts of the movie. Like when that guy from The Sopranos gets ate by a record. Pretty interesting. However, as cool as these monster moments can be, they just leave you wondering, why wasn't the rest of the movie like these moments? I guess maybe it was too expensive to do something like that, but hey, you know what? If I'm going to make a monster movie and I want people to like it and watch it and actually see it, I'm going to do everything up to selling my soul to make it happen. So I don't really buy any excuses from these people. You can watch this movie and realize how boring it is and how at odds it is with metal music. You could have had something fun and zany, but it's got a serious tone to it, and it really just feels like they're saying metal music is indeed evil and bad for you. The end. Wow, great movie. Okay, cool. I give Black Roses 2 out of 5 30-year-olds playing 17-year-olds doing whatever this is on a pole. I guess what they say is true. Every rose has its thorn.